A whisper we often miss. Have you ever watched someone you love, really watched them, and felt that something was quietly changing? Something that words couldn't explain. Maybe it started with small things. They seemed a little more tired. Their favorite foods didn't interest them the way they used to. They became quieter at family gatherings. At first, you told yourself it was nothing, just the normal signs of getting older. But deep down, your heart wondered, is this something more? Many people believe that death, when it comes in old age, arrives suddenly. Like a switch flipped, like a chapter closed all at once. But the truth is far more gentle, far more subtle, and often far more heartbreaking. The body rarely gives up without first sending out quiet signals. Months, sometimes even a full year, before life reaches its final stage. The tragedy is that these signs are easy to overlook. They don't shout, they whisper. And because they whisper, families often don't recognize them until it's too late. Too late to prepare, too late to make those last memories count, too late to give the comfort, the peace, the dignity that every person deserves at the end of their life. In this video, we're going to talk about 5 key signs that often appear in the final year of an elderly person's life. These signs might seem small at first glance. You might have noticed some of them already, but brushed them aside. But I promise you, understanding these signs now can change everything. It can help you provide better care. It can help you create meaningful moments. And it can help ensure that your loved one's final journey is filled with kindness, compassion, and peace. So I invite you, stay with me until the end. And if you care about the well-being of your loved ones, if you want to be the kind of person who recognizes what matters most, please take a moment to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. Let's begin this important conversation together. Sign 1. Breathing and circulation. The body's quiet conversation. Picture this. You're sitting in the soft light of a quiet room. You glance at your loved one and notice their breathing. It seems slower, softer. Perhaps you notice that at times there are little pauses, brief moments when it feels like they're holding their breath without meaning to, and then the breath returns, as if the body remembered its rhythm. Over time, the pattern may become more noticeable. Breathing may become irregular, sometimes speeding up, sometimes slowing down, unexpectedly. You take their hand, and it feels cool, their feet too. You look at their fingertips or their lips, and you notice a pale or bluish tint that wasn't there before. This is not just a normal part of aging. This is the body's quiet way of saying that circulation is changing. The heart, a tireless worker for so many years, is beginning to slow. Blood is being sent to the most essential organs, and the hands and feet, the parts farthest from the heart, receive less. These changes often start gradually. Families tell themselves, "It's just cold in here," or "They're just tired today." But these small signs, if noticed early, give us a chance to bring comfort. Maybe we elevate their pillows so breathing becomes easier. Maybe we keep the room at a gentle, comfortable temperature. Perhaps we offer sips of water, moistening a dry mouth that struggles with each breath. And most importantly, we sit with them, speaking softly, reminding them that they're not alone. As days go by, you may find yourself noticing other small signs. Maybe they shift more in their seat to find a position that feels easier. Maybe they begin to prefer sleeping propped up rather than lying flat. It is not uncommon for them to rest in a recliner, because that angle helps open the airways just enough to ease their breath. And with the changes in circulation, you may see that their skin feels more fragile. The extremities may look a bit discolored. These signs can feel alarming, but they are the body's natural way of gently slowing down. In these moments, the gift you can offer is presence, peace, and gentle care. Not trying to fix, but simply being there, listening to what the body is saying through these quiet shifts. Sign 2. Unintentional weight loss. The vanishing strength. It might start with something as small as noticing that their wedding ring slips more easily from their finger, or that the clothes they've worn for years seem a bit too loose now. Meals that once brought joy and comfort sit untouched, or only half-eaten. Favorite dishes don't bring the same spark in their eyes. When someone begins losing weight without trying, it is often the body's way of signaling a deeper change. As the body prepares for its final journey, it may no longer absorb nutrients the way it once did. The digestive system, which worked so tirelessly over the decades, begins to slow. Muscle mass fades, and along with it, the strength that once helped them rise from a chair, steady themselves on a walk, or simply lift a cup of tea. Families often respond to this sign with love, with care, and with action. We offer favorite meals. We prepare nourishing broths. We buy supplements and protein drinks. And, sometimes, despite all these efforts, the weight keeps slipping away. That's because it isn't just about the food. It's about the body quietly transitioning, focusing its energy on what matters most, and no longer signaling hunger the way it used to. This change may happen over weeks or months. At first, it may seem like small, almost invisible shifts. A pound here, a pound there. But over time, the change becomes harder to ignore. The cheeks lose their fullness. The arms and legs appear thinner. Even the way they sit or stand might change, as muscle tone fades, and balance becomes harder to maintain. This is when we must shift, too, from fighting to nourish at all costs, to focusing on comfort, on small joys, on hydration, and on the gentle act of sharing a meal together, even if only a few bites are taken. And in this stage, more than ever, conversation and connection matter. Even if the meal is small, the shared moment of sitting together, of talking softly, of holding hands, becomes a kind of nourishment in itself. Sign 3. Fatigue and weakness. When rest becomes the constant companion, think back to who your loved one used to be. Perhaps they were someone who rose with the sun, who enjoyed working in the yard, tending to flowers or vegetables, or simply taking a walk through the neighborhood. Perhaps they delighted in gathering with family, sharing stories, laughter, and memories around the table. And now you see changes. They sleep longer in the mornings. They tire after doing the smallest tasks, brushing their hair, getting dressed, standing at the window to look outside. Even holding a cup of tea might seem like an effort. This is not the type of tiredness that a nap or a good night's sleep will fix. It is a profound fatigue that comes from within, as the body focuses its remaining energy on the most vital processes. The heart, which has worked tirelessly for so many years, begins to beat a little more slowly. The lungs don't draw in quite as much oxygen as before. The muscles, which once supported so many activities, tire easily, and with this physical exhaustion often comes emotional withdrawal. It is not that they care any less. It is not that they love any less. It is simply that engagement, whether in conversation, activities, or even small tasks, can feel overwhelming. In these moments, we as caregivers and loved ones must remember that what they need is not more encouragement to push through. What they need is understanding, permission to rest, a reminder through our actions that they are cherished and valued, not for what they do, but for who they are. Sometimes, the greatest gift is simply to sit quietly beside them, to offer companionship without demands, to let them know, through presence alone, that they are not alone on this journey. Sign 4. Cognitive changes. The mind's gentle goodbye. You may notice your loved one repeating questions they asked just moments ago. Perhaps they lose track of what they were saying mid-sentence, searching for a word that seems just out of reach. Maybe they seem disoriented in familiar spaces, or pause at the doorway to a room they have entered thousands of times before. These moments can be among the most difficult for families, We hold tight to memories, to shared stories, to conversations that have been the fabric of our connection. When those threads begin to fray, it can feel as though we are losing them, even before they are gone. But these changes are part of the natural slowing of the body and mind. The brain, like every organ, needs oxygen and nutrients to function well. As circulation slows, as oxygen delivery becomes less efficient, cognitive abilities naturally begin to fade. There will be moments of clarity, sometimes surprisingly sharp and familiar, and then, just as suddenly, there may be moments of confusion or withdrawal. It is in these moments that our response matters most. We can offer reassurance rather than correction. We can speak gently, slowly, with kindness. We can focus on shared moments that transcend words. A warm touch, a soft smile, a favorite song played quietly in the background. Even when memory fades, the heart remembers love. Sign 5. Frequent infections and slow healing. The body's surrender. Perhaps your loved one was always healthy, resilient. A cold rarely kept them down. A scrape or bruise healed in days. But now, you notice that illnesses linger. A cough that stretches from days into weeks. A urinary tract infection that returns despite treatment. Bruises that seem to appear from nowhere. And small cuts that heal slowly, if at all. These are signs that the immune system is growing tired. The body's ability to defend itself, to repair itself, has diminished. The focus, once on healing and recovery, is now shifting towards simply maintaining comfort, conserving energy for what matters most. It is natural to want to do everything possible in response. Another doctor, another medication, another procedure, and sometimes those interventions are needed. But often, what is most helpful is not more medicine, but more compassion. Gentle hygiene care, hydration, moisturized skin, clean and soft bedding. These simple acts of care can provide more relief, more dignity, and more comfort than another round of antibiotics that may do little to change the course ahead. Families often struggle with this stage. The desire to fight, to do, to act is strong. But sometimes, the bravest and most loving thing we can do is to simply be present, to shift our focus from curing to caring. Final reflections. What truly matters in the end? We have walked together through these signs: breathing and circulation changes, unintentional weight loss, deep fatigue, cognitive decline, and frequent infections. Each of these signs may come quietly at first. They may not happen all at once. They may not even be easy to see. But when they appear, they offer us a chance to prepare, a chance to shift our focus from fighting the inevitable to embracing what matters most in these final days or months: comfort, dignity, and love. What your loved one needs at this stage is not more battles, more struggles, or more interventions. What they need is peace. They need your presence. They need your voice, soft and reassuring. They need your touch, gentle and kind. They need to know that they are not alone. And you, as a caregiver, as a family member, as a friend, you need to know that you are not alone either. Many have walked this path before you. Many walk it now. And while the journey is never easy, it is one filled with opportunities for deep connection, for meaningful moments, for final memories that will stay in your heart long after the journey ends. If this video has touched you, if it has offered you comfort or clarity, I invite you now to subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss future videos that may support you on this path. And I invite you to leave a comment below. Share what resonated with you. Share a memory, a hope, or a lesson you are taking with you. Your words matter, not just to us, but to others who may read them and find strength. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for choosing to learn, to listen, to love. May you and your loved ones find peace, strength, and comfort in the days ahead.